Hello, Fightful Faithful, and welcome to the Fightful NXT After Party Show.
Hey!
Hey, I'm your host,
Hey.
Pawlowski, and this is with me, as always, is Kate Hensler. Kate, say hi to the people.
Hi, the people. How are you?
I think we're all doing fine. I mean, those of us who just watched this show are doing fair to middling. Maybe worse.
Mid, as MJF would say. Look, that I have this "Baby It's Cold Outside" shirt on that you can't see when I'm in the frame, which is a bummer.
No, it's terrible. Yeah,
but I wore it for you, friend.
Oh, very good. Let me get my poof ball in the middle of the frame. So for those of you who are unaware, next week at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Tuesday, there's going to be a Fightful holiday stream where all of us are going to get on there and we'll do, stuff. And you can send every super chat or humper chat that you send in for that will go directly to our Christmas bonuses, which is pretty cool. And then we're going to have to go watch this thing next week, which features some matches I'm excited about, and also Von Wagner in action. So the full spectrum. But then you could also watch us do that, because next week is going to be our holiday special. Well, I'm sure we'll have all kinds of fun things planned to sing and do fun stuff with.
I already have my outfit planned, Alex.
Oh, wonderful. Fantastic. Yes, you will be you'll be regaled by songs sung by Snow Knee D'Angelo next week on this very program. It should be a lot of fun. Anyway, please send in a super chat or a humper chat right now. Go to humperchats.com, send in your humper chat over there or over here, and we'll read them. Luis, our fantastic mod, will let me know what has been supered or humpered, and I will address them accordingly throughout the evening. If you think we skipped your thing, we haven't skipped it. We're just going to get to it when we get to it. We won't skip them. But
except
we have a few from last. Except we had to skip last night because we got in just under the wire.
We really did.
But that was a different one because we all had to say goodbye to Johnny Gargano. I guarantee you it's not going to go as long this time. I hope.
So why would you do that? Why would you set us up like that?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's bad. Let's start off with JW Pringle. Hi, Kate's mom and dad. Hope you're having a great holiday season.
And from everything... I was just going to say, from everything I can gather, we've got the leg lamp in the window.
Good.
We've got a brand new Christmas tree because we have much taller ceilings than we did last year. And my mom is watching The Voice finale today instead of NXT 2.0. So all is calm, all is bright.
Yeah. Leonard Guru says, Kate, you look beautiful tonight. Alex, you too. Why, thank you. I'm blushing.
Thank you. We are very pretty.
We are both of us. Very pretty. Now, there was some stuff that was set up for this thing ahead of time. We knew some stuff was going to happen. We knew the main event we were going to get, Braun Breaker versus Roddy Strong, which lived up to its billing, I will say. It was like, well, hey, this actually feels like an NXT 1.5 main event. Like, it feels like it's something that has meaning to it. These are two good workers who are turning in a good performance. And so it felt like it was maybe a throwback. Some of the other stuff on the episode, not so much. We'll start going through it. First of all, we have some humper chats here. Matt Riddle says, saying hi to Alex and my bestie, the girl with the best bangs, Kate Hensler, on NXT retirement. But I love Gigi Jolin's shirt. R.I.P. Jimmy Rave. All hell, Calix 2.0. Yeah, R.I.P. Jimmy Rave. That was pretty cool for Gigi to give him a little tribute there. I know they worked together pretty extensively.
They did, yeah. They had a sincere working relationship. I was really glad to see that tribute. Hi, Matt Riddle. Sorry we did not cross paths at Ring of Honor, which I was at. As was FTR is what I was trying to say. Right. But yeah, I love seeing when wrestlers have the freedom to do any tributes. Like, I just think that's a beautiful thing that they can do. So I was glad to see Gigi do that.
Chris Rain says, appreciation Humper Chat for the King. Alex, awesome Sour Graps episode. Thank you so much. Yes, I do the Sour Graps episodes late at night on Monday.
It's not good to be the king.
It's really not. The Nerd Guru says, did not watch an ounce of this show because without Kyle and Johnny, I have no interest. But I'll watch you guys because Kalex for life. Thank you so much, Nerd Guru. Yeah, they're slowly dripping. They're slowly falling away. I do feel like there's probably one match next week that is going to signal the last match for one of the two competitors in NXT before they move to the main roster, but we'll see what happens there. We started off the night with Grayson Waller showing up and taking a video of people obviously being stood there by production assistants. Stand here, and when he walks over, just boo at him and give him the thumbs down, and then he takes a video of it. This is a thing that's going to bleed through the rest of the night. He does not have a title. Hopefully he won't anytime soon. I feel like the champions are set up pretty well there. But he is absolutely the most important character on the show right now, for better or for worse. It's a weird deal. Yeah.
What in the Diet MJF hell was this? Like, this isn't even his fault, but like, this is the stuff that organically happens when MJF goes anywhere. Like, and this is you can't capture that lightning in a bottle in a produced way.
Right.
I sat down. I legit was going to be like, I'm going to be open-minded this episode.
Yeah.
It's the holiday season. My heart is filled with joy. And then 2 minutes into this, I was like, oh, what the hell is this? Like, here's the thing. It's not on Grayson Waller. I do like him much better as a heel. This felt like Diet MJF. Later, he felt like Diet Ricky Starks. I know they're discovering who they are as performers at this stage of the game, and that's not his fault. But I'm like, you can't discover who someone is by not letting an ounce of who they actually are show through. Like, I don't believe that guy thinks indie wrestlers all suck. I don't. Not when they ended all up at the same place. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we can get into the other stuff later, but like, now he has no friends, which is actually kind of nice because usually it's baby faces that have no friends in WWE for some reason. But I just, I have to align my expectations as well, because there's going to be extremely stark changes like this. Like, that's very clear. Like, it's very evident very early on that if something doesn't work, they're just going to wipe it out and hit you really hard with something new. So that's partly on me. Like, I'm going to need to adjust, but I don't like staged fans. Like, this felt like at a late night show when you go to a taping and they force you to clap and on cue and stop clapping at this time. Like, this was just not a fun way to open the show at all.
No. We'll get more into Waller. We got the Cameron Grimes and Duke Hudson thing that has to continue because they don't have any other things for these guys to do. It was a no holds barred match, but it's a no holds barred match. Like, I don't understand why we call it that when it's just like a no DQ match, which is also called a street fight. It's just a thing. Like, why is it a no holds barred match? What was he gonna do? Like an eye? Like, I didn't see anybody do it like a gouge in the eyes, or what's a barred hold, Kate? What is a hold that is normally barred that they could have used but didn't? I don't understand. Why call it a no holds barred match? It's a weird. Just call it a no DQ match. Call it a Extreme Rules match. Like, it's just a fight. Just a fight.
I can't believe they didn't call it like poker punishment something or whatever. But like, it's funny. I don't even think I It's funny that we had the same reaction to that on the same day, because I was like, I'm gonna look up no holds barred, like what the actual definition of it is, and it's about holds being and like a trash can lid is not a hold. That's just a thing. So call it a street fight or a no DQ match. Yeah,
it's a hardcore match.
It's a
that's what they used to call. They used to call them hardcore matches. Anytime somebody hit somebody in the head with a trash can lid, it was a hardcore match. So
that I think has gotten. If I'm categorizing this match, I think I call it no DQ, because I think hardcore matches have now, whether logically or not, they now have a reputation for being like bloody and tack spots and whatever. So I call this a no DQ match, but I had complaints with this other than that. What is Duke Hudson wearing on his head? Well, what he's wearing around his waist?
Listen, every time throughout history, every time the heel loses a hair versus hair match, they show up the next time wearing a wig or a funny hat, because it's time to, like, you know, the heel gets his comeuppance. That's the whole point of it. Everybody laughs at the heel. Now, I understand that's just the way things work, but like, why is it a wig that looks? I mean, I understand like the way it used to happen in a hair versus hair match in the territories in 1976. Like, I get it, but it's not that anymore, and we all kind of understand. I think we all kind of understand what this is. Like, he's wearing the bad flare wig and the headgear, and he loses the match because he gets too precious and decides to threaten to shave Cameron Grimes bald, but he gets caught with a kick while he's admiring the Clippers, and then he gets a cave in through a chair. And after the match, go ahead.
Well, just like, he never actually shaved his head in the hair versus hair match, so I don't understand
parts of it.
Yeah. So why is he completely bald, which we find out later? I also don't understand what those tights looked like. He was from Chippendales. That did not look like. I don't understand that part of this either. There were a lot of spots in the match that I really liked. I don't even know what the counter was, but there was a point where they were outside the rings and Grimes just something Duke Hudson into their double dare barricades, which was just very impressive. The power bomb spot where Hudson put Grimes through a table was nasty in like a good way. I like when power bombs move that fast, where you're like, how did you expedite gravity? That looks sincerely punishing. I'm just gonna say this as a general rule to wrestlers, and I know it's wrestling, so you have to buy in. Nothing good happens when you sit down in a folding chair ever. It ends bad for the person sitting in the folding chair. That's never been advantageous to anyone, except I think Joey Janela did a monkey flip in it, which was pretty rad before, but you got to stop sitting in folding chairs, wrestlers. It doesn't turn out well for you, and that was the case here. But the match itself was good. It's so funny that we had that same inclination of the no holds barred thing, because that's not what this was.
No, it's a pet peeve every time they do it. It's a no holds barred match. Well, what is the barred hold that you have to that you would do? I don't, whatever. The thing about this is that you bring in a specific table, not a regular table, but a poker table that, like, it has the whole thing written on it. It looks like it's a big ovular poker table, and he does a power bomb through it. Like, why is it that table and not like a regular table? Did Duke Hudson leave a specific table under the ring so he symbolically could beat Cameron Grimes by putting him through that table as opposed to any other table? And then he didn't. Like, he powerbombed him through it, but he wasn't able to get the pin. So you just ruined a better table than another table. I don't understand. Like, the table budget is now through the roof because you're spending it on fancy tables instead of regular tables. I don't understand any of this. But then after the match, after Cameron Grimes wins, he rips off the headgear and the wig to show us that Duke Hudson is bald. Like, bald. Like, speaking as a guy who shaves his head regularly, that because I've got a nice little cul-de-sac up here and have since I was in my late 20s. And it doesn't look good when I let the hair grow out, so I keep it closely shorn. Just looking at the length of the stubble on Duke Hudson's head, he had to have shaved his own head sometime today because it was freshly shorn. Why would a guy who hates being bald keep shaving his own head? Wouldn't you, like, if you were going to wear the wig anywhere, wouldn't you be trying to grow it out as fast as possible? Like, that thing happened like over a week ago. He should have a much longer growth of hair on his head than he does. Like, it doesn't make any sense to do that. Whatever.
It does not. And why would you shave your own head instead of just let that patch grow back in?
Right.
Like, Duke Hudson is smart. We've learned that as a character, and then he does dumb things like this. Like, I just want him to get to be himself a little bit more, because I think there's something really special with him, and I think he could also fit the main roster mold without being so cartoonish. Like, I think he could be something that they're actually looking for up there. Right. But yeah, I thought the in-ring action was really good, but yeah, that should have been called a poker Punisher fight, and that would have justified the poker table instead of the regular table. Maybe he heard what Bully Ray had to say about real heels and didn't feel like he could say get the tables, and that he had to go get his own table. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, those logical flaws, which are not on the performers, obviously, are on this. My biggest thing is, okay, where do they go now? Because Cameron Grimes keeps whooping his ass. Like, are we just going to rematch this to death for another few months, or is this
has to be done? Like, so I'm sure Duke Hudson is going to want revenge, but we can't allow that. Valab says, can you do a pile driver in a WWE no holds barred match? If not, then it's not even a no holds barred match. And the Batted to One Jam Beard says, should have used a pile driver in a no holds barred match. Aren't they normally barred in WWE? LOL. Yeah, I mean, technically, please don't do this, but wouldn't technically an unprotected chair shot to the head be a barred hold that I suppose they could use in this match? If it was truly a no holds barred match, again, please don't do unprotected chair shots. But I mean, stop calling it this thing. Booker B raises a good point. Duke Hudson, why he bald though? But seriously, there are a lot of bald men. Why are they calling that man hideous just because he shaved his head today? That's a very good question.
That's the other thing. I was like, this doesn't work when you can pull off bald head. He looks great. Like, he looks really good. He, for all intents and purposes, looks like he has a normal shaped skull. This isn't like a bad look for him. I think the story that they were trying to tell was like Duke Hudson is going to be able to get Cameron Grimes' hair anyway, somehow. And that never happened, which is good if you're trying to have a babyface payoff here. But like, it's a little less about, like, it should have been a little, there's no chase in Duke Hudson's hair. There's chase in Cameron Grimes' hair.
Yeah. So we got a little vignette of Double Vest and the Beach. They're waiting for their big hot date with the TikTok tag team. And I thought it was nice of the TikTok tag team, who we know are ravers who are really into EDM. They just want to really impress these country boys because they took them to a country music festival, which is not what they're into. We've seen that. But it was a little vignette where they were there, and the Beach was trying to make time with Caden Carter, but then Casey Catanzaro said, no, you're going to dance with me. And Double Vest was like shocked that two women were allowed to dance together at like, this is not where I come from. This was stupid. And I'm just glad this is all we saw of them on the show tonight.
Okay, so I have really fun notes about this. There might have to be like, if this keeps going on, remember how I said like it felt like Stefan? This is kind of the Stefan spot, but First of all, I just love that this was apparently like a field days. There were rides in the background, and they needed tickets to get in, like tickets that they were excited about. And I don't know if it was Double Vest or Beach, but one of them just goes, a country concert.
there was.
I am so excited about the genre.
It was like they went to the county fair, and because they had a little concession stand that advertised corn dogs available here, and I was like, well then, ritzy, yeah.
My word. And then I just wrote, is this Footloose? Because why were they so shocked by two people dancing?
I don't know.
Like, what is happening here? Why do they hang out? They're not friends. Like, what's
the
going
batted to one jam beard says Double Vest in the Beach. I think I've seen that country band at a dive bar one night. You will if haven't yet, you will someday. Mm-hmm. And Mark Losper sends in an evergreen super chat. Every single part of this segment sounds abysmal. I could have used that several times.
Yes,
for the rest of the evening.
And actually, I wouldn't even say this was abysmal because my mind was fucking blown.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. Was I entertained? A little bit.
Yeah. Ronald Hollick says, remember when Crush / Brian Adams used a heart punch, which became a barred move? Punch somebody in the heart. Or do that in a no holds barred match. Do that.
Have friends come in, and they're the ones holding you. And that one's would normally be barred, but not so much here.
I just want to hold you.
I just want to hold you while we listen to country music live.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the most important character in NXT 2.0. Grayson Waller came out.
First of all, the most important character in NXT 2.0 is Tony D'Angelo, obviously, but we can pretend it's Grayson Waller.
It's not according to the people who write this show.
Okay, but they don't know anything.
Well, no, we're gonna have to deal with it. I mean, I'm very happy with Tony D'Angelo's placement on the card at this point. I believe it will only get better, but as of right now, according to Vince and Bruce and Heartbreak, Grayson Waller is the most important character in NXT 2.0. He comes out and gets like genuine, like Bully Ray heat, like not you're a heel that we love to hate, not you're an entertaining heel. Boo, you suck. We don't want to see you anymore. Everything you say is poison to my ears. That kind of thing. So I guess that's good, but I don't trust NXT to have not like told everybody the person who boos the most gets to go backstage and get a picture with Tommaso Ciampa and the NXT championship or whatever, or gets to go backstage and meet Mandy Rose. Ooh la la. So then you have everybody in the crowd being like, boo, I'm the loudest booer. I wouldn't put it past them at all to have like come up with some contest that they were pitching to these people. But like he got a big reaction. I thought that the substance of the promo was low-hanging fruit and otherwise kind of dreck, but I thought he handled the material well. I think he's not sinking in this particular point. It's not him who's doing bad stuff. It's the material they're giving him and the character they're asking him to play. But like a lot of these people, like for example, Von Wagner would have like completely just crumpled into a fetal ball at the fact, realized he couldn't remember his lines while everybody was shouting, booing at him and chanting, "You suck." So I didn't hate this, but I reserve to hate everything about this entire angle going forward. I just thought this could have been a lot worse, but I thought that Grayson Waller like handled this terrible material and the onslaught from the crowd as well as I thought he possibly could.
I half agree. So yes, it feels like the audience, to me, it really does feel like a late night studio audience. Like it feels very much like either it's being piped in or
apparently there are no seats on the hard cam side. So they might have like a cue card guy putting up a sign that says boo, give the thumbs down, boo boo. They might actually have that.
I would love to, sincerely, I would love to know what the experience is for a fan that used to go to the original one versus now. Like I'm sincerely curious about that, but definitely felt like very cute. I don't know. I actually think like I definitely think he's a heel. He's definitely a heel. I don't know if I buy that he's this heel, and again, it's me needing to adjust my expectations. Like, I don't think he's this slimy guy. Like, I don't think he's like the Ethan Page kind of open shirt, Ricky Starks kind of thing. I don't think that this character is even that guy. Like, this feels like a watered down version of what LA Knight I think is doing extremely well. And I don't think that's Grayson Waller's fault, but like, it's almost like the content of what he's delivering doesn't match up with the I'm wearing sunglasses inside guy. Like, he's not talking about how wealthy he is. He's not talking about how broke the indie wrestlers are. Like, it just doesn't click yet. And it's early. So maybe they're on their way to finding it.
I think it's only going to get worse.
I
think it's only going to get worse from here. They gave them all their A material in this one. It's not like they have other ideas.
But to your point, like, it's not even the content of the promo that's the worst part. I feel like the character that he is being portrayed as aesthetically and the content of what he's saying don't really match up. Like, the guy who shits on indie guys doesn't dress like that still. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I guess the whole thing is that to me,
but it's going to get worse.
I think he's, because they're trying to combine Lone Wolf Baron Corbin, who thought the indie guys were a joke because he just was a former football player who showed up and got a contract. They're trying to combine that with The Miz, who's a former reality TV star who's only there because of his, quote unquote charisma or whatever, and because he feels like he can become a star as opposed to an actual wrestler. He doesn't want to be a wrestler. He wants to be a star. He wants to use this as a platform to become a bigger global star. Like, they're trying to combine the two things. I don't think he would say bad things about indie wrestlers. He just wouldn't give a shit. Like, and I the one part about this thing that I thought was good, and then followed up by something that I thought was really bad, was his talk with Wade Barrett. Like, Wade Barrett, oh, so you like me? You think I'm a POS, but you like me? Guess what, Wade? I got some bad news for you. It's not 2010 anymore, and I don't give a damn what you think about me. Like, I think that's like him having zero respect for those that came before makes sense. But then being like, Vic Joseph, I beat up your best friend in the world right in front of you, and you didn't do anything because you're a pussy. Like, that's stupid. Don't do any of that shit. But like,
I think the way to tell that story, and it's not that far off, but I don't think they're going to make this leap. I think there's a really great way to say, this wasn't my dream. I didn't scratch and claw for this. I just showed up and it was this easy. Like, you could organically go that. That's the thing that does work with Lone Wolf Baron Corbin, that was a true thing about him. And I think you don't have to go that far off, but just going as far as you suckers like dreamed of this. Excuse me. Sorry. Just going that far of just like, this was your dream. You scratched and clawed. All I did was show up and we ended up in the same place. That's how much better I am at this. Mm-hmm. I didn't even have to try as hard. Is such a more fitting thing to roll out the gate.
Yeah. I mean, as I said last week, like I figured they were probably going to send Johnny out the door the way they did because you use whatever sympathy and love we have for Johnny to get somebody else over as a heel. I didn't want it to be this guy because I didn't know what he could do with it. And I didn't know, and I knew that they were probably going to give him really bad stuff to try and to get him over because they don't know how to do anything better than that. And this is what we got. Like, I don't know. I don't, obviously he's doing something else right now, but I don't know, like, if they really wanted to, like, get Tony D'Angelo over as a heel and let him cut his own promo and do his own crowd work and his own attacks on verbal attacks on Wade Barrett and Vic Joseph, how that would be different, because I don't know how much leeway they give that guy beyond his basically like his ad libs within the material to, like, make it seem more Tony Soprano-esque. I don't know. They would probably still have him say the same kind of crap.
I don't know if they would, because don't you think they'd be a little intimidated? Don't you think they'd be worried about their own kneecaps? Do you think there's a part of them that don't think this is a character, Alex?
Yeah, well, part of them definitely. There's definitely somebody backstage who thinks that's who this guy really is.
Well, Vince McMahon thinks movie props are really Cleopatra's egg, so who the hell knows what's going on?
It's a pencil. It's a pencil, and the most important part is the eraser. That's what Vince McMahon is now.
Oh no.
Kenshiro says that the MJF comparison is apropos, but it also feels like they're trying to recreate original Hero and Ciampa without understanding why it worked. Like, yeah, because Hero and Ciampa attacked Johnny, but that was more like, you betrayed all of us while you betrayed Johnny, and Johnny was still going to be around, so we had that to, like, to do stuff with. All I'm saying is I expected it to be horrific.
Yeah.
And it was just, oh, all right. And the thing is, it's not MJF. MJF walks out and gets genuinely booed because of who he is. This guy is trying very, very hard to do something. Now we also got he got to say all this bad stuff, and he got to leave and talk about how Grayson Waller is whatever because he wants to be known as a celebrity, whatever. So we got a dummy promo from LA Knight who showed up in his Miata and is like, you tell Grayson Waller I'm coming to look for him if I don't find him first or whatever, right? We get that. We get Waller walking around backstage. Everybody, like, won't talk to him, won't look at him. Tiffany Stratton walks up, so he walks up to him so we can't see her face, and she says, "My daddy says you're a horrible person," and then she walks off. I don't understand why we're not allowed to see her face. Like, she's very active on social media as Tiffany Stratton. She's had matches on 205 Live. I don't understand what this gimmick is. You're not allowed to see her face. I don't know what this is. Maybe she's going to have a Carmella gimmick where she wears a mask when she first comes out. Maybe she wears a lucha mask to wrestle in. Anyway,
that would be low-key hilarious.
It would be. But then he goes into the locker room and like The Miz, he gets kicked out of the locker room. Not for eating chicken, but for being an asshole who everybody hates. And Braun Breaker says, you're not allowed to be in my locker room, get the hell out. And all these guys who we've never seen on NXT before are like, yeah, you're not allowed to be here, Grayson Waller, dude who was in War Games. Person who's never been on TV before, am banishing you. I thought that was funny.
Extra number 7 says, get out of here. Something has happened where I'm now obsessed with LA Knight. I love LA Knight. I think LA Knight was equally as confused as we were about not getting called up to the main roster, and has now instead of like trying, he's like, I'm just gonna do the dummy stuff that I was doing, and I live to pop myself, and I'm loving it now. I am here, hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I really like that promo. And then later in the night, we see Grayson Waller getting into to Larry Knight's Miata, and Tiffany Stratton is sitting in the passenger seat. So apparently she likes guys who her daddy says are horrible people, which I think we probably know that was probably going to happen. But we still can't see her face, but it's definitely her. and then he says something to the camera, whatever, and drives away. And then we see that LA Knight is writhing in pain in the parking lot. Don't go in the parking lot at NXT. I'm telling you, it's a bad idea. Don't do it. If you can find a way to like rappel from a helicopter directly into the building without ever going into the parking lot, I think that's probably the best, safest way.
My God.
Jumping out of an airplane with no parachute safer than pulling up in your car, statistically.
Travel in pairs.
Yeah.
Preferably arrive by bus all together.
Mm-hmm.
Get on Tony D'Angelo's good side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can help you out a little bit. The NXT parking lot, a dangerous place to be.
Yeah. So Kenshiro says, wait, wasn't his whole motivation to get attention? Why was he so okay with everyone backstage and locker room ignoring him? Because those people don't matter, Ken. The people that matter are the people on social media. That's who matters. That's who he wants to get a rise out of and become a bigger star with, because he doesn't give a shit about wrestlers. That's the thing that they're trying to get over. I don't know that it works. I don't know if anybody. It's up to you whether or not you believe it. But that's the idea they're trying to get across. He doesn't give a shit about anybody he works with.
You know what is difficult about this whole thing is
one of many things
other than everything.
Yeah.
But it's like what you do in the ring is you wrestle.
Yeah.
So like even if your motivation is to be a star or whatever, like you still have to wrestle in the wrestling ring.
Right now he doesn't. Right now all he's doing is beating up our favorites.
But like if the path to stardom is through championships of some sort.
But he seems to think that's not the case.
Well, all right. Well,
then... like that's the point. Like right now, he is not doing any of those things. He's trying to become, for lack of a better term, notorious, to become the infamous as opposed to famous. Like,
so why wouldn't you just go on Dancing with the Stars? Why would you beat up Johnny Gargano?
Why does Tony D'Angelo think that NXT is the path to extra wealth beyond just inheriting all of his uncle's construction business legitimately? Why does Tiffany Stratton think that the path to extra money beyond her daddy's credit card is to go at NXT? I don't know. Apparently in canon, in NXT, this is how you make all the money, as opposed to in real life, which is you get paid like $40,000 a year.
Yeah, and you know what? LA Knight's driving off. I think it's a Corvette and not a Miata. But either way, he's driving a pretty nice car.
I hope it's a Miata.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe NXT pays better in kayfabe than it does in real life, because that's an expensive car.
Yeah.
I think what you mean is dummy salary.
Mark Losper says, "I'm glad you said Miz is there for his charisma. He's definitely not there for his frog splash." Good. That's a good one. I like that. Mark also says that I'm grading on a curve with this. I absolutely am. Like, not everything can be horrible on this show. We're all going to jump off a bridge by Valentine's Day. And
it is developmental. We have to.
Yeah, that's
be
the thing about this.
about
we
it.
have to be okay with it. Like, I mean, we're going to get to a segment here pretty quick. But like, Lash Legend was on 205 Live, and I wanted to see if like she can go at all. She had her debut match on 205 Live. If 205 Live like made use of the full hour, and all these people who can't work yet and aren't ready for TV yet were only wrestling on 205 Live, that could be your developmental thing, where people who aren't ready to do stuff yet can do their stuff on 205 Live in front of a much smaller audience, like in front of the same size live audience, but it won't, like on network TV, they won't like crap the bed. So I feel like you could utilize 205 Live more in that way, and allow for developmental to be developmental. The Batted to One Jam Beard says, been saying this since day one. Waller is the third Paul brother and just as unlikable as the other two. Yeah, I mean that's basically his shtick. He's intentionally being unlikable right now, which of course is going to give him more followers, he believes. They had the MSK and Matt Riddle segment. So I suggested last week that they need to show what's in the bag. So otherwise we're going to assume it's drugs.
Of course.
And so they said, all right, we'll show you what's in the bag. Before I could say, no, not like that. There was a baseball bat and scissors and a couple of loose batteries to charge their phones, they said. And a traffic cone and a lot of other stuff. A WWE microphone that wasn't referred to during the thing, but was on the table after they emptied the bag. It's one of those things like, oh, it's like one of those deals where like was it like Willy Wonka or something where like he reaches into his hat and it's like all the way at the bottom. Oh no, it's Mary Poppins inside her like little bag and where she reaches in and pulls out like a full lamp, like a floor lamp out of there and stuff. Like it's a gag from 1960 that they decided to use in this thing. Like none of the things were specifically funny. They were just things. Like stuff, the props they found around the area they're shooting it at, as opposed to like being actual specific things.
The most confusing part to me is why was Matt Riddle absolutely bowled over by what was in the bag? He was like, whoa! And it was just like
baseball bat.
Some stuff. Was that supposed to be the swerve?
I don't know.
This whole journey with MSK has been just payoff disappointing. Disappointing.
This is the end of their journey. I think that was kind of clear from the end of this thing because Matt Riddle pulls out his own scooter, which is a thing he doesn't even really use on. Does he even use a scooter anymore? On really Raw
anymore?
Like he doesn't really like. Maybe he does, but like I've kind of like tuned it out because it's not a big plot point. Like it used to be a big plot point.
It was like a thing. Like, yeah.
Omos, like this is months ago. Omos broke his scooter, so the next week he went out and bought a new scooter. Like it was a whole thing about the scooter. I feel like the scooter really isn't important anymore. But he pulls out his own scooter, and then each of them in turn reach into the bag and pull out their own scooter. The scooter is the most important thing. Scooter. So I don't understand. Like if the whole thing is now MSK are going to ride to the ring on scooters. Was that what we got out of all of this? Is this them not wrestling for 6 weeks? And now the next time they do wrestle, they'll be riding scooters? Was that the whole thing that we got out of this?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
They took a journey to a shaman instead of Toys R Us to get scooters. Is Matt Riddle now working NXT with regularity?
This is it.
I
think this is it. They pulled out Cena's U.S. title belt.
Oh, I popped for that a little bit. That made me laugh. That was funny. At least it was something.
It's as ridiculous as anything else they pulled out of there.
But I will say this is the 4th time in 2 weeks that they.
What are the other 3 times? Because I don't remember any of the other 3 times.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch last week's video. Something with toxic attraction. I forget what it was, but there was definitely something with toxic attraction. But there were definitely 4 times in the past 2 weeks where I was like, Alex said that.
Yeah. Wow. We got a lashing out with Lash Legend segment. And again, I went back and I watched her 205 Live match. She's very big. She's strong. She's athletic as hell. She's trying too much to get the character over during the match, but then again, like this is her first match.
Sure.
So like I don't know how many matches she's had like in the Performance Center just like working, but she beat Amari Miller. I liked her. She had a very odd finishing sequence where she like basically wrapped. It was like a torture rack, but instead of like on her shoulders, it was like wrapped around her own back, like kind of bending Amari Miller around her own back, and then she went over to the ropes and she kind of like bounced her head between the top and middle rope, and then she just smashed her on her face, and that was her finishing move. Was like a whole sequence of things that she did, which I haven't seen anybody like do the whole. My finisher is these 6 things in a row. I haven't seen that in a while. Like okay, you know. So we'll see when they actually have her doing anything on the main show, but this is what 205 Live could be. Developmental used to be this. Like she wouldn't have done this on TV. She would have had her first 7 or 8 matches on the house show loop in Largo. You know what I mean? Like that's where she would have done things, but they don't do that now, obviously, and with good cause. So that's what we're building to that. I assume like she is athletic. She's very strong. That might be put into something. Right now, I think her talk show segment is abysmal, and I don't enjoy watching it. I don't believe anybody's actually laughing at the jokes they've written for her. And again, Kushida is in jacket time. That's all I will say about that for this thing.
Just release him. Just release him and waive him so that he can go to Wrestle Kingdom and let it go. Like, you're not going to bring him to the main roster. What are you doing? Let him go. Let him go.
Yeah.
He can go back to Japan now. The borders are more open. Let him go. Like,
yeah.
It's just, you can either, like, they're just going to insult him, right? So stop. Just knock it off.
Jacket Time had a match.
Style Strong. Come on.
Style Strong. Yeah.
It? Do you get it though? Because it's like strong style.
Strong style.
Like, I
don't know
if do you get it?
Yeah.
It's like flipped.
Yeah. We get
This is Kushida, man.
We got a Jacket Time versus GYV match where the Creed Bros were ended up coming out and distracting GYV long enough so they could lose to, like, James Drake got pinned by the jacket guy, by Ikemen not by Kushida. Kushida took the majority of the heat in the match. Like, the hot tag was made by Ikemen. Like, I don't know what any of this is in aid of. Like, I'm looking at like, Truly Young Vets are so friggin' good. Like, and they're not allowed to be that. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, this happened. The rough thing about this is that you have three very different tag teams, two of whom are very skilled, one of who is very skilled and on the rise in this picture, right? So, like, hypothetically, there should be something that you can work out that makes a lot of sense here, but this was not it.
Mark Losper says, if you're Kushida, what stops you from just acting up horribly until they fire you or refusing to do this act? I mean,
integrity.
Like Kushida's an old school, like, really, really nice guy who's not going to do this kind of stuff. And like, I respect him for having that kind of integrity about it and just do, like, but like, this is something I would say about a lot of people all over all three rosters. Just, do something so crazy they have to fire you. I mean, take your 90 days and go. Or if they have to fire you so hard, then you can, like, prove that it was all an act and get hired immediately somewhere else. I don't know.
I will say this ain't it, but there is, it seems like very commonly with Japanese wrestlers, part of why they like to work in America is to stretch what they can do character-wise. Like, sincerely, when people come over from New Japan and Noah and stuff, like, one thing that they like to be able to work in American promotions is a completely different style. If you hear American talent talk about their time in Japan, they talk about how different the sense of humor is, how different people react to spots. I remember Janela saying that, like, I didn't work over there as when I went over there versus, like, how I ended up. I figured it out, but, like, it's a completely different thing. So sincerely, Japanese talent like to be able to stretch their legs in that way. This ain't the character, but it is something. Like, it's not something that is commonly done, like, in New Japan.
Yeah.
So that's a very desperate.
And Mark responds, I think I get that he's nice, but this is some of the worst stereotype BS across the whole company.
Yeah.
Think of the ground that covers. I mean, it's the worst stereotype BS, I think, particularly for Ikemen because they're making him cut these promos specifically to make people laugh at his accent, and that's bad. I think that a lot of it is it's just really bad, stupid, lowest common denominator comedy. Like not only is Kushida in this tag team called Jacket Time, Jack It time. But also, in canon, his tag team partner takes giant diarrhea poops. That's an in-canon thing. That's part of his character. Like, associating Kushida with that, I don't think is the best way of doing business, I guess is what I would say.
No, and one of the frustrating things to me about this is that I feel like when Kofi Mania happened, there was a huge wave of awareness about how incredibly messed up it was to make a man from Africa pretend he was from Jamaica. And while that was like, I think between when Kofi Mania happened and that happened, there was a lot of growth and awareness in that time. But that resurgence because of his feud with Orton, that was on people's minds again in what I felt like was a really important way. This is not like that different. It's not making someone be from somewhere else, but it is making someone be an absolutely cartoonish, stereotypical version of themselves based on the color of their skin. So while it's not quite the same level, it's equally as insulting.
James Bauer says, can you imagine if Nakamura was in this NXT? Listen, look what he's doing on SmackDown. It's not like it's that much better. I mean, it's terrible. It doesn't matter where you would put Nakamura. The best thing they've got for him is you're allowed to be Intercontinental Champion. You will never have matches defending it. And you're only here to get over your valet, who is a clown who plays guitar. I mean, that's about as good. And yeah, I must have missed this, but Graham B says that Barrett was too excited about jacket off time. I didn't realize that was a thing that they said in the thing. I must have missed it.
I said this on Friday too with Nakamura. I don't think Boogs needs Nakamura either. No. I don't think that works for either of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I see this in the chat. It's true that astoundingly, they did not make Kofi play like he was from Jamaica. He used that gimmick on the indies. That was a thing that he used to get over elsewhere. So that was his, again,
that is fair.
Just because it is his idea doesn't mean it's a good idea. See Nikki ASH. You know what I mean? I'm just
sure. There's ideas that work on the indies that you don't put on television.
No, it's true.
And to that wide of an audience. I do understand that though. That is an important distinction that I should have made. But
right.
There's things you do on the indies that you definitely don't do on television.
Yeah. Malcolm Bivens cut a promo backstage. Malcolm Bivens is fantastic. Cut a promo about Braun Breaker and how Roddy Strong is going to beat him. And then Ivy Nile has a match versus Amari Miller. And Ivy Nile beats her. It took too long. Amari Miller should have been a human sacrifice for Ivy Nile. I mean, Amari Miller lasted, I think, 5 minutes against Lash Legend in Lash Legend's first match. Ivy Nile should have just walked in there, slammed her on her face, picked her up, put her in that weird headlock thing, and been done with it.
So cool. That weird headlock thing is so cool.
I don't know what we're protecting our Amari Miller for sure. For her to get offense on Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile should be really protected and just smashing people, just destroying people until you put her in the ring with somebody who's got a storyline behind it. Like Ivy Nile should be smashing people until she faces Cora Jade or something, that kind of thing.
So a few things. One, I really like Diamond Mine. I think they need to go on a field trip. It seems like they're just always training back there and doing matches, and they don't ever stop. And they also seem to not have any, a lot of lights back there. I'm worried about the electric bill, considering how much money everybody's making at NXT these days.
Yeah.
But I did also say that I'm a West Wing mark, and I liked the walk and talk promos.
Mm-hmm.
On West Wing, they were also always working in the dark. For some reason, Toby Ziegler was writing his speeches with no lights on. Maybe they're West Wing marks like I am. They could afford to be a little bit more like Aaron Sorkin. But the match being too long, that was initially my thought too, and it still holds that way. I think it should have been more in the squash arena. But I will say, as someone who is constantly complaining that the women's matches are too short, I can't have my cake and eat it too. This, to build her properly, should have been a squash, but I get that. And also, I'm wondering if that's a developmental thing too. Like maybe they're trying to sincerely get a look at her, but like from a wrestling fundamentals perspective, this should have been more of a squash. I think Ivy Nile rules, and I also will forever pop at heels doing push-ups in the middle of the match. It just makes me happy.
Yes. If you're trying to get a good look at Amari Miller, you have a performance center. So have her and Valentina Feroz or whoever work out a 12 to 15 minute match and have them show it to you back there. That's what you have Performance Center for. Like until they can do that in front of nobody, then they shouldn't be doing anything in front of people on live television.
But she looked okay in this.
She looked fine. She looked fine, but like she could afford to like if you go back and watch the NXT like the glory days of NXT, you would be surprised at the people you saw who would come in and get squashed in 15 seconds. And then you wouldn't see them for a while. The next time you saw them, they'd have a character and a package and vignettes and everything. And all of a sudden, oh, now we're supposed to take this person seriously. I understand that because this is developmental. Like we could be doing that with Ivy Nile should be the if she's gonna be the pit bull, have her tear people's throats out until she comes up against real like that should be her story right now. She should be not being given any competition by anybody until you put her in the ring with somebody who can really give that to her.
That makes sense.
Whatever. Yeah. So we got a backstage promo. Who was Zion Quinn was interviewed backstage about Santos Escobar and Elektra Lopez, and says, I see your little game, Elektra. Now I know the rules. Now I know what's happening when you come with me next. And then she's about to send it back to the desk, and Robert Stone's like, you see me standing here. I will not be ignored. I am going to throw my phone onto the floor. Actually, I'm throwing it onto a pillow. Like it was very obvious that he was gingerly dropping it onto something so he wouldn't break his phone. And he's like, you will not ignore me. You're not allowed to talk. Blah, 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 blah. And then Von Wagner is like, hey, put that microphone over here. Von Wagner, this poor sap who was totally not ready for the spot that they put him in months ago. And they could, I don't know where you could do this now. I mean, honestly, what I would do is I'd have him call out Braun Breaker. Have him do whatever you can, like a little mini hoss battle. Have Braun Breaker break him, and then have him go away for like 4 months, so we forget about how bad he is at this. And for the love of God, give him something to do that's not just generic Healy promos. Like do something with him, like that isn't this. Like give him a mute gimmick so he doesn't ever have to talk. Let him be.
Robert Stone's gonna manage him.
Okay, I mean, Robert Stone wants to do that now. Okay, that's fine, I suppose.
Well, because he wants someone serious. That's what I think this whole thing is leading to.
Well, yeah.
But here's the thing. If you want somebody to interview you, don't be on your phone like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that. And not like in a fun way, like in a go-home way. Like, hey, if you're trying to get someone to interview you, get off your phone, idiot. Yeah. And Von Wagner is now like, bitch stole my look, Brock Lesnar. What was he wearing?
Yeah.
And it occurred to me while watching this. I was like, oh no, he's 2.0 Jack Swagger. Like before the We the People gimmick.
Yeah.
Like just super generic, but Jack Swagger had like an athletic background. But like just super generic promo guy looked kind of like this.
I'm gonna smash these people next week. That's what I'm Van Wagner. Van Wagner from the John Battle to One Jam Beard. Mark Losper says
he could be in a tag team with Veer, and they could be Veer Wagner.
Veer Wagner. But if that happens, at least we know we won't see him wrestle for the next 4 months because he'd be coming to NXT forever. Mark Losper says, if Von Wagner is the answer, the question should be thrown into the sea. Myron Kidd says that Von Wagner backstage promo had me howling like a wolf at the moon. Dude was caught looking at the cue cards off screen. He's just not ready for the spot yet. Like, I honestly, like, I feel bad that they said, hey kid, you're tall and you're big-ish. We're gonna put you in a fatal 4-way match on your first night on TV, like for the title, and then that creates expectations. So let's put you in this weird partnership with Kyle O'Reilly for no reason. Then that's gonna fall apart because Kyle's gonna go and be somewhere, do something good with his life, and you're gonna turn heel on him like badly. Like, it's not.
Okay, but he's been there for 5 years. What has he been doing for the 5 years? He's not good at any part of this.
I don't know.
Not great.
Mark Losper says that when Vic Joseph says next week we're going to see Von Wagner in action. They should call it Von Wagner in Von Waction.
Von Waction.
Yeah.
Waction along with
Whack It Time. Whack It Time.
Whack It Time. Perfect.
Whack It Time. Yeah.
Speaking of Whack It Time, Alex. We're about an hour into the show, and we're not allowed to go over 2 hours. But some people can't last 2 hours, Alex. Some people can't come close to lasting 2 hours. Some people can't last 2 minutes, and that's okay. You just need a little help from our friends at Blue Chew.
I hear you. Times are rough. We just got out of a wild situation, a wild year, and people are saying, you know what, it's a hard knock life. But I disagree. Instead, I believe it's a hard cock life when you use Blue Chew and the code Fightful, and you get your first shipment free. Free? All you got to do is pay $5 shipping. Blue Chew is made with the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work, but they work on your schedule. Full stomach, empty stomach, ready to go, want to get in the mood, Blue Chew has you covered. Instead of treated, we get tricked. Instead of kisses, we get kicked. I don't think so. More like somebody's getting dicked when you use BlueChew.com. No awkward conversations with the doctor. Because, I mean, you know, I'm all about not being awkward. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. It's because they work with their online physicians to get the active ingredient you need, and it ships straight to your door. BlueChew.com and the code Fightful gets you your first shipment free. That's how confident they are. Free. Use that promo code Fightful. Hardcock Life.
You're getting some brave reviews here for the
Thank
segue by Mark Losper. A pause. That was beautiful, Kate. I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah. Boy.
That was my best work.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank you.
We got Harland's in-ring debut. Harland's in-ring debut, and he yep, he's not ready yet. I mean, they carefully structured this match around his character, but he's not ready yet. Like, he did a move, like the guy who was facing him, Guru Raj or whatever, went in for a collar and elbow tie up, and then Harland just took him and slammed him face down to the ground, and then like kicked him, knocked him over, and then just rubbed his forearm, like this part of his forearm across his face and stuff. And then he picked him up and he like got him up in like a weird atomic drop position, and then just slammed him on his back. That was it. And the match that was it. I mean, here's the deal. Like you brought him in. He didn't have any experience whatsoever. He, as far as I know, he didn't grow up in the business like Braun Breaker. So, you know, like,
well, yeah, not everybody has the proud Breaker family lineage.
Right, exactly. So I'm fine with him being green right now. But the way it used to be was you got to like work through all of that with them for a couple of years before you were like, well, now we got to put them on the on the TV. And I'm fine with it. I just don't want to. If this is what, like a squash match where a guy hits 3 or 4 moves and then his finisher is fine. This wasn't even a match. This was like you did a move to a guy after you did some like transitional Healy type stuff to a dude, and that's it. All right, whatever.
Yeah,
he won the match, and then he attacked Guru Raj more after the match, and everybody came to all the referees showed up out of nowhere to you're not like, I actually saw an official in a suit come out. You can't do that kind of thing was actually the thing that he shouted at Harland, which is great scripting. And then we go to a break and we come back, and I don't know where they're escorting him to, but like you have to leave. We're gonna make you leave. They were escorting him somewhere, and there was a camera at the bottom of a very narrow flight of stairs. And I don't know where this place is. I've never seen anybody else go here as part of this ever. So then he's up there, and I was like, is that Brian Kendrick? And I was like, that was Brian Kendrick, because he got involved in Harland's face, and Harland just picked him and yeeted him down the stairs.
Yeeted Brian Kendrick.
They yeeted the Brian Kendrick down the flight of stairs. And then Brian Kendrick went into the seizure at the bottom of the stairs.
And
like
it
was very
local medical
no, there's only one. Not a local medical facility. The local medical facility. And Spanky got spanked, man. He got straight up murdered. Like they did like a whole a medical update later in the night where they gave updates on everybody who got hurt.
Dude.
And they were like, he's got a cervical fracture, which means that in canon, Harland broke Brian Kendrick's neck, which is like, I'm honestly very interested in what they do with Brian Kendrick when he's healthy, because this is a guy who was wrestling like not that long ago. He's an actual like coach at the Performance Center. So like they could do in-ring stuff with him, and that guy can talk. That guy could be an actual character. Like you could do something with him wanting to get revenge on Harland, kind of a thing. You could do something there. There's something to be done there. It was very interesting that they said, we are picking this guy to do it too, not just a random security guy who happens to also be a Performance Center recruit. Like they said, we're going to do it with Brian Kendrick, noticeably Brian Kendrick, refer to him as Brian Kendrick, like that kind of thing. Like, so I'm hoping that this just is like some random act of violence, but is the beginning of some kind of storyline.
I have several questions. One, where's Dr. Io Shirai? She can reset people's shoulders. Yeah. Why isn't she out here diagnosing the cervical fracture of the Brian Kendrick? Mm-hmm. Second of all, is Brian Kendrick, was he just there to take an insane bump? Because I could also see that being the case. Mm-hmm. And third of all, my best friend Phil, I think, was right about the medical negligence that goes on in NXT. That injury rundown was insane.
Yeah.
Harland did not look good. He looked greener than Kermit. It's not easy being green, but here we are. Not great. Should have just been a one power slam thing, but my bigger concern is if the play here is that Joe Gacy is going to control him, he needs to be able to, it's very important that he's able to execute the things that Joe Gacy's controlling with, because the creative part is not even in his control, right? So he needs to be able to go execute some moves if they're going to continue this way. I kind of miss when wrestlers had ring gear. Nobody at NXT has ring gear anymore. Yeah. This kind of works for his character because he was like just in prison and is kind of Lenny from Of Mice and Men. But yeah, I think this is a lot of, well, sink or swim. If you sink, you're getting released. I think that we're going to see a lot of that with NXT, and this might be one of those cases. I don't think people are going to have that long of leashes. He's either going to pick up on it or he's not.
Well, I mean, they obviously have plans for these types. The guys who come from nowhere, who aren't indie types. This guy's young. He's big. He's intimidating looking. They're going to give this guy a lot more rope than they will other people that aren't Vince's type.
I gotta be honest, it's adorable that you said obviously they have a plan for, because like ... anything
like
after that.
They not a specific plan. I should have said plans. Like this is the type of guy that like they could see being an actual important player on the main roster in a few years. Hopefully a few years and not a few months.
Right. Because he's Vince's version of Blue Chew.
Sure.
So there's a longer leash for him. That makes sense.
Right. That is what I got from this. But yes, agreed. If Joe Gacy can control Harland, then I think Joe Gacy needs to be also charged with assault, because this is not a good thing you should do with your guy. If you can control him. Anyway,
I did like him just in the background being like, maniacal look. And the promo that they gave, just that little thing of, you get to go be yourself now, I thought was really, really good. He's great at this like creepy, weird thing now that they've focused.
Yeah, I guess I kind of just want this to, like, it doesn't have to be overnight, but I would want this to be a faction as opposed to a guy with like a pet. Like I would like there to be other people who could join this thing. Yeah. Mark Losper says Vince sees a Blue Chew pill. Meanwhile, everyone sees a slightly more competent Nails. What are you about more competent? I mean, I know Nails has issues, but I don't know, man. Like he's very, very, very early in his career, and I feel like I have to say that because you would assume that if somebody is that early in their career, they're not in an important spot on a live major cable show. This isn't like, forgive me, this isn't Impact. Like, it's not on a network that you own where like 14 people watch it. Like, I know we talk about how they have terrible ratings, but it's like a primetime show on a major basic cable basic cable network. It's a weird thing to be like, hey, just go out here and figure it out, kid. Whatever. We got a Cora Jade interview. She seems to think she's got everything figured out. And then Dakota Kai comes up, is like, oh, you and Raquel are going to be friends. How that? You just wait. This is what she's going to do. She's going to lull you into false insecurity, and then she's going to forget all about you. It's like, and then Cora Jade said, yeah, okay, whatever, mom. And she leaves. And Dakota Kai says, wait, I'm pregnant? I'm not ready yet. Like, she said something weirdly crazy like that. And then she left as well. And Cora Jade versus Dakota Kai is fine. Dakota Kai is working on the injured shoulder, which is what you should do. Mandy Rose is on commentary throughout. That's not fine. It's much less than fine. It's terrible. As a rule, just like if somebody's not really, really good at that, don't have them on commentary. Like, don't put them in that situation, especially if you're gonna like keep peppering them with bad questions and them trying to like figure out what the answers they're supposed to say are. Like, it was not good. She was not good on commentary. And again, that's not her fault. She's not supposed to be. That's not what she does. Don't put her in that position. But Cora Jade won with a roll up.
Something new and different.
Something new and different. Great. And then Dakota Kai was going to use the shovel on Cora Jade. And then Raquel showed up and ran Dakota off. And then all of Toxic Attraction showed up and they beat up poor Cora Jade. And they further injured her shoulder during Vic Joseph's now nightly injury update. She had a subfuscation or whatever of her shoulder. She's day to day. I really feel like Cora Jade should use the shoulder like DDP did with the ribs in 1998 or whatever. Like just for like 9 straight months, she should have an in-canon shoulder injury that never gets any better because she won't stop wrestling.
And then she has to develop an entire yoga program. That's just the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I didn't like about the promo. She goes, "I'm finally cleared."
Yeah.
And I was like, 10 days ago, you had a dislocated shoulder that got reset by a wrestler. So finally cleared makes no sense. Also, Dakota is hilarious. So that was fine. And then she's day to day again. So she re-injured the shoulder, which God bless Dakota Kai for being able to properly tell a story and immediately go after the shoulder as soon as the bell rings and continue to work the shoulder. But my thought was, why do you just maybe not have this match, have Cora Jade continue to be injured? Maybe she, against everybody's advisement, scrappy little Cora Jade interferes with a match with Mandy Rose or someone in Toxic Attraction. And then you can have your favorite thing in the world, which is pitting your champions on television. But it makes sense because you're building a feud. And then, you have Mandy put someone else over or whatever. Like, I just don't understand why you have someone get cleared to then be re-injured when the babyface story of I won't back down even though I'm injured is sitting right in front of you, and you love to pin champions, so you could just do that in a really protected way anyway. It's so sitting right there. I think if they were smart, they would have her little skateboard also have a little sling. I think her skateboard should have like a tiny little baby sling.
We found out today that Avril Lavigne is planning a movie adaptation of Skater Boy.
That's gonna be such a boring movie and be real short. Like, there's not a lot that happens in that song, Alex.
Well, like I feel like Act 1 is just establishing him as a skater boy, and Act 2 is when she says "See you later, boy," and then Act 3 they somehow come together. They somehow become.
Act 2 is when she says "See you later, boy."
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
guys. Very early in my Fightful career, Jeremy Lambert gave me the advice to pop yourself.
Yes.
I'm going to do that with Avril Lavigne jokes on this podcast, and I'm going to do that anytime the Brian Kendrick does anything.
Yeah.
It's going to be the. So I'm just warning you that was great advice.
Yeah.
And that's what I love to do.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's good. We got a Tony D'Angelo match. This was set up last week versus Andre Chase, who is a more reviled heel than Tony D'Angelo. And I thought, are they going to like turn Tony D like weird tweener thing since he's over? Like, is that what we're going to do? No. I mean, he beat Andre Chase. That's good.
I could be Andre Chase.
Yes. You could.
What credibility does I don't get being the professor of something and sucking at it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, he's modern day Dean Douglas, but he's worse.
I didn't like Dean Douglas either.
Yeah, no. But Tony D got a victory with his like
matters.
rolling fisherman suplex deal.
That's really cool.
It is a cool thing. I don't think he needs to do a Northern Lights into it because that becomes like you just do it. Like it should be one of those deals. Like, and one of the things I did love that it was kind of specific to the match, which is why I loved it. But also it made me wish that he would wrestle more guys who wear sweaters while wrestling. But like pulling the sweater down over Andre Chase's head and like getting a few good uppercuts into the ribs. Like it felt like it was him having a brawl on a street corner when he was 15 years old. The character, I mean, like that. Like it felt like, how would a mafia guy fight? Like he'd find any kind of way to like, he'd kick you in the kneecap and then like he'd make sure he's wearing rings, like whatever that kind of, like how would that guy do it? And I appreciate that they had like, that he would do that. And it feels like because the only constant in all of his segments is Tony D'Angelo, I feel like they either have a guy who is specifically working with him and coming up with great ideas backstage for him to do, and then he's flawlessly executing them, or this is all coming out of his brain. Like he's like, I know how to play this character and doing it, because everything he's done has been like perfectly true to the character, and he's played it perfectly. Like, I wonder if it was his idea, like, when you wear a sweater, I'm going to pull it down over your head like a hockey jersey and beat the hell out of you. And under his, like, yeah, it's a great spot. Let's do it. Like, it feels like that to me.
I think that, yes. So to your point about it feeling like this is how this guy would fight, I loved it. I had in my notes that it feels like he forgot he was wrestling. Like he forgot he was in a wrestling ring, that this is just like how he lived his life. And then he's like, oh, right, I'm wrestling. But this did feel like a Tony D'Angelo moment in time. Like, didn't feel like a wrestling match so much as like, this is how you fight people at the docks, you know? Kind of cool. So I really, really like that. It feels way more organic than anything else that's going on the show. And I said this before, like, he's the most cartoonish character, and he's the one that feels the most rooted, or like started as the most cartoonish character. And it's like they went the other way. It's like they had this really far out idea and pulled it in, and everybody else, like Drew Hudson, felt like organic and like someone you've actually met, and they pushed it way out. So I continue to love Tony D. I like him using the fisherman suplex. I don't think he needs the Northern Lights into it either, because I don't know. It's like when Eddie Kingston uses it. Like, it just feels more brawly without the Northern Lights suplex part of it. Yeah. But I'm very sincerely into Tony D'Angelo. I think he dethrones Roman. I think that he tells the bloodline something else about a bloodline. And then he dethrones Roman. It's the only possible path. Yeah. We have a super chat that I just want to call out because it's a happy birthday super chat. Can we get a happy birthday for the Coug 97? Also, I wear that hat when I teach kindergarten, Alex. Nice choice. Of course. Happy birthday, the Coug 97.
Happy birthday to the Coug 97.
I saw the chat lighting up, and that's very nice of someone else to buy someone else a happy birthday.
Yes.
Super chat. We're a community here.
We are. We have
a family.
Absolutely. Tony D needs to be the cousin to Nunzio. No, Nunzio needs to be the cousin to Tony D. That's what I'll say. Now, Tony D brought out his trophy from War Games, which was
from
War Games.
Thank you.
Battle Frolic and combat activities. And he brought out which is just a mouth guard that he pulled out of Pete Dunne's mouth during it, and he cased it in cheap plastic. It looked like lucite, but it's not lucite. It's cheap plastic. And it's his trophy. And he gets on the mic and he says, "I just beat that stonad Andre Chase, sent him back to his university. But really, why don't you talk about Pity Poppins?" And he is a fantastic little promo here, calling out Pete Dunne. He says something to do. Ever since I've been in NXT, I have backed up everything I've said, which is true. He's undefeated. That's important. And he basically, he talks about Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne comes out. He's like, "You talk a lot. I'm gonna get in the ring and I'm gonna break your fingers." And then he does. But first, they're actually, I love it. He gets in the ring, he's gonna fight. He's like, and Tony's like, hey, listen, I got lots of things I gotta do. I'm not gonna fight with you right now. Listen, you want to come back next week? We can talk. Maybe you and me could have a fight next week. Maybe you and me tussle next week. But right now, I gotta go see a guy about a thing that a guy does. And then he walks over and is about to get out of the ring and turns around and takes a cheap shot at Pete. And Pete is, because he's Pete, breaks his fingers. And then Tony D'Angelo retreats to the floor, and then Pete Dunne smashes the little thing, the plastic thing with a mouth guard in it. He picks up the mouth guard and puts it in his mouth. And I was like, I hope that was sterilized before he put it in the plastic. Please tell me that was sterilized. This economy, just putting a random mouth guard in your mouth. What are we doing, Pete?
The Brit's not known for dental care.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just like, what is this? We don't have these in the UK.
Yeah.
This I will put over as a more sound use of a weird prop to advance a feud. This is better than Drew's sword. This is better than Riddle's scooter. This is better than the motorcycle. This actually had some meaning, and I don't know. I think it's real fun.
Yep.
Alex, I have a question.
What's that?
Let's just think about the fisherman's suplex. Mm-hmm. If you were a suplex, what kind of suplex would you be? I think I would be a snapdragon. I want to create a BuzzFeed article around this. You know those BuzzFeed quizzes that are like, what type of pizza are you? I want to take everybody in the chat. Tell me what kind of suplex you are.
Tazplex.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Tazplex.
Yeah. Someone said sourplex.
The sourplex would be great. I don't know exactly how that would work, but it'd be good. A sourplex. Sourplex City, baby.
But your finisher would be a sour bomb.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. Yeah. We got a Boa versus Idris Enofe match because this has started last week. Boa comes out, he's wearing the face paint. Like, it's so funny. They had this whole thing that they built up Tian Sha to like get over Xia Li and also kind of Boa by having Mei Ying there, who's a dragon lady who breathes metal in your lungs, and that's all gone except for Boa. Now wears the face paint because Xia Li's on the main roster and she's a good guy now. She's the goodest guy. She's the protector.
With lightning fingers.
With lightning fists. With bad CGI lightning fists from 1992.
Which, because I said we're bad, people said that I was anti-WWE, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. I was like, I said that the graphics look like they were from 1992, and they do.
You're right. That's true.
Not being a homer for anybody, they look bad.
Yeah. We also saw Wendy Chu was in the audience for Lash Legend for some reason. I still don't know what her gimmick is other than she likes to sleep. Is she a narcoleptic? I'm not really sure what the whole thing is with her. Boa beats Idris Enofe. This was the thing that happened. I like that Boa doesn't win with the Tongan Death Grip. Like, he disables them down to their knees, and then he hits a back spinning heel kick, which I thought was fine. All right. There you go.
That's fine.
Raquel calls out that Raquel and Dakota are seen fighting in the parking lot, and there is, among other things, multiple kendo sticks, a couple of chairs, and a fire extinguisher littered throughout the parking lot. And I just want to know, are those things that are normally in the parking lot?
Honestly, that parking lot, they might be.
You're right.
This is a no holds barred parking lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we get Raquel back in the locker room after they separate them in a separate segment, saying that, I'm done with this. We need to end this finally. So next week it's you and me in a street fight. And I think the loser of that moves up. I don't know that they have anything for either of them. They have something. They more than likely have something for Raquel if she goes up. Yeah. But they don't have anything for Dakota Kai because she was ready to go up before and they didn't. So I don't know. I don't know that's.
Yeah, Boa, someone in the chat mentioned this and it's in my notes, so I'll bring it up too. That kind of looks like a Black Mass situation.
Well, I mean, that's what a back spinning heel kick is. So yeah. It's
kind of funny they used it for another out of worldly character situation.
Right. James Nepper says, I have so many questions and concerns each show. Everyone's going to the hospital with multiple injuries. But it's main event time.
It's also not going to a hospital. They're going to
local medical facility.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's main event time is just a great way of like getting this person might have a broken neck, but it's main event time.
The only way it could get better is if they did the Mark Henry Rampage gimmick. If they were like, this person has a broken neck, it's time
for the main event.
But that's enough about injuries. It's time for your main event.
Enough talk about a horrible injury that may leave a man paralyzed. It's time for the main event. One thing we didn't get that I really, really wish we had, we did not get Vic Joseph saying strong breaker next.
Oh,
I was upset.
It's up there with strong fish, but strong break occur.
Yeah. Vic Joseph did say hospital, so he's definitely gonna get fined.
Oh, he might get fired.
Yeah, that's not good.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be calling them wrestlers.
Braun Breaker and Roddy Strong had a hell of a TV main event.
They really did.
When it went about 10 minutes, Roderick Strong got to be super strong. He had a crazy superplex directly into a double underhook, like Tiger Driver type thing. Mark Losper says, "I'm a superplex in that I take too long to set up and I never finish matches in WWE." I thought this was
we had
great.
a Blue Chew ad before, man. If you need use the code Fightful at checkout.
If you take too long to set up, you might need Blue Chew. And if you have trouble finishing matches, so I thought this was great. Honestly, I don't know. They set up something backstage that they're moving toward Carmelo versus Roderick Strong, but Roderick Strong just lost to Braun Breaker in a non-title match. So I think they're going to do a unification, North American and cruiserweight thing between Roddy and Mello. Mello was there with Fetch Williams. Fetch Williams, by the way, has a match next week with Dex Loomis.
We just call him Fetch now. We're all in on Fetch.
Fetch Williams, that's his name. I'm keeping his surname. I'm not going to be disrespectful to the man.
No,
but
course.
Fetch Williams. And I thought this was really good, and Breaker was selling well. And Rod got to look strong, no pun intended. And then Breaker had a really good comeback, and then just dropped Roddy right, just dropped him down, picked him up, did his big old like gorilla press front slam deal. That was it. Beat him.
First of all, intend your puns, you coward. All right? Mm-hmm. Intend them. He looks strong. It's literally his name.
Yeah.
The match was great. My only thing is like, just call him. We gotta start calling it. You can't call it the Frankensteiner and not call him a Steiner. That would be like if when Hook debuted, if he was like, survive if I allow you to.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that. No. Didn't you change his name on Twitter too to something Steiner?
I don't know. He may have.
But the match was amazing. I don't like this that your next opponents up are perched looking at you. They did that with Imperium last week.
That's a thing
now. Weird. It's like a less cool Sting. But I am all for unifying the titles because I think it's.
I just like that arena is legitimately 18 feet high. I would just love to see
super lit,
just like way up there. Like you can't like. It's like, oh look, Sting up in the shadows. There are no shadows in that place. There's zero shadows in there.
The lighting is insane.
Yeah, just like
Yeah, Jeff Hardy's like, this isn't even that far. Like, it's.
But after the match, we had Ciampa show up for the first time in 2 weeks to beat up Braun Breaker, kind of out of nowhere. Like Breaker hasn't even been shit talking him, like he did last week.
Yeah,
but not this week. Like his whole thing was Strong, and he also like said, "Get the hell out of our locker room" to the dude who beat up Ciampa's best buddy Gargano. So it feels like they're definitely leaning into this. Ciampa is the heel now, and we're supposed to root for Braun Breaker to beat him for the title, which is fine. That's the way they're going to do it. But I wish it wasn't done like so rushed and kind of ham-handedly.
Well, and they didn't have to. They could have just had the War Games teams switched with heel and face reverse, as you pointed out.
That's we can't dwell on that because we don't have time.
That was one of the 4 that they listened to you about.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
But yes, they should have just had Ciampa cut a heel promo before this happened because this felt very jarring. But Breaker also, he didn't really bury him last week. He just said he was coming back for the title. Right. In fact, he was like, I respect the people that came before me. Yeah. So why Ciampa was like vicious about it makes no sense. I just wish they had Ciampa be like, I don't get no respect.
Right.
Rodney Dangerfield beforehand.
Sure.
Also, where's Samoa Joe? ROH is dead. Like, let him go revive it.
He's apparently a talent scout now. Like he's the one that went out and found well, he didn't because that guy was signed a long time ago. But he's the one who went out and found John Kron. I swear to God, we are gonna get Braun versus Braun Breaker versus Kron, Kronn, the 7-foot lineman from Portland State who already has bad knees. That dude versus Braun Breaker, it will be the headliner for some B pay-per-view in like 2025.
Called Wrestling at Dawn.
Yeah. Braun, Kron, Pistols at Dawn. I don't know. The Battle of One Jam Beard says so everyone is ditching Roddy Strong in NXT and showing up in AEW. Even his wife is now showing up on AEW. Also, speaking of Shafir on Dark, she looked great in that match. How could she not fit Diamond Mine? Well, of course she could fit Diamond Mine. That was one of the big reasons that Roddy Strong resigned. That he resigned for a long time so he could work with his wife, and then they fired her. She did look great in that thing. She was like, oh, hold on a minute. That crazy like pump handle suplex thing she did to Statlander in their match on Dark was like, damn. Shocky29 says, didn't watch NXT, but I echo Alex and Maria Shafir. Damn. Hope she gets the Is All Elite treatment. Would it be a great / scary addition? Yeah. Marco Dominguez says maybe I could get behind the Frankensteiner Braun Breaker. I'm never gonna get behind the 2Ks. Like I'm never gonna do that. If honestly, if it was just Braun Breaker with 1K, I'd be all right with it. It's 2. It's vitally it's 2. That's a main part of this.
Well, all right, and then don't call it the Frankensteiner. You gotta go one way or the other.
That's true. Yeah. Here we go. All of our super chats and humper chats and stuff. I'm gonna start reading them. Send in no more because I'm never gonna get through all of these in 22 minutes.
Do you have last week's?
I do. They're okay, here. I will handle them as I get to them. Mark Losper says for our screenplay of Skater Boy the movie, Act 1 she was a girl, Act 2 he was a boy, Act 3 ? I added that last part.
Well, first of all, you Tarantino'd it because he was a boy, she was a girl.
Right.
And quite frankly, I don't know if that's a very good play because can I make it any more obvious? He was a punk, she did ballet.
Yeah.
What more can I even say?
Nothing more to say. Marco Dominguez says slightly tardy to the party, but is Lawrence Aloysius going to be the thing we heavily cheer for now that they're going to sacrifice him to get more heat onto Waller? Knight is the character. Yes, no, he is. He's too old.
Dummy.
He's too old. If they were ever going to do anything with him, he'd already be on the main roster, cutting these awesome promos and having great. He'd be a top contender for Damian Priest's U.S. title on Raw immediately. Like they're not doing anything with that right now. They're having him have random matches versus Robert Roode, who hasn't been like a viable anything singles wise in years.
Yeah, because you know what they are?
Yeah.
Dummies.
Yeah.
I love him. I love LA Knight now.
I know. Shauna Walensky says, also completely un-NXT related. Did you see the tweet the Briscoes sent calling out FTR? I can't wait. Yeah, that's going to be a thing that I'm going to do, isn't it?
I was at Final Battle.
Yes, I know you were.
ROH.
Yep, I know you were.
Just thought I'd let everybody know.
I know. We're all very aware.
I was there crying, so be
God.
jealous.
Jesus, this is okay. This is just you people are. I love you all.
You people.
You're getting very, very demanding with the songs.
But that's a compliment. You keep knocking them out of the
great.
park.
It's fantastic. But I'm gonna get fired. Because we're gonna go over 2 hours.
Okay, I'll be quiet.
Paul Hensler says, JW Pringle, Kate's mom and dad wish you the best during this holiday season. That's very nice of them.
My parents are so cute.
The Batted at One Jam Beard says, also because Kate's hair is giving me Cyndi Lauper vibes, can Kate sing Girls Just Want to Have Fun? Make it quick.
Girls just want to have fun. Yeah, girls just want to have fun.
Goyles.
Girls.
I wasn't prepared for the Goyles. Shauna Walensky saying, sending my appreciation chat to CM Punk's bestie Kate and Santa Alex. Love you guys. Hashtag Gabagool. And also with you.
And also with your spirit. And Phil loves you too.
Aaron says, greetings, Team Kalex. Honestly, thank you all for all you do for my mental health during the week. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Anyways, I heard WWE in honor of the season put out their own version of Do They Know It's Christmas? And I wonder what that would sound like. Well, now, okay, Aaron, I'm gonna have to think about that. That's not something I can improv out of the earth here.
But next week is the go home to Christmas.
Yeah,
so
the next week is the go home Christmas show. So I'm gonna have to think about Do They Know It's Christmas, Aaron. But I'm very, very happy we can do anything to help you with your mental health. It's a tough time for a lot of people. Okay. All right, Ryan says that you need to sing Who Let the Dogs Out as Marissa Tomei.
Okay, well, we're trying to zip through them, so I'll just say, who let the dogs out? Who? Who let the dogs out? My dog is literally in back of me, and I'm like, oh God, is he going to try and go for a WALK? Who? He's asleep. Do you know the Will Ferrell, Robert Goulet version?
I've heard it. It's once in my life. Yes.
Who let those little mutts go? Yeah. It's the best.
Okay. So here we go. We got one more from last week that I am supposed to do. This is from Luis did it, making me do this. The Dance Away lyrics, of course, this is the Red Dragon theme song, which they will be happening when Kyle shows up in AEW anytime now. And now, wait, hold on a second. This is Tony D's going to sing it. Okay, here we go. What I gave, I can't save. I had faith in your promises, things I said, things I felt, and now I'm coping with the guilt. I give you a reason to dance away. It's so worth saving a life away. Die with the words she left me. Angels weep from the ceiling. They flood the room you let on a Monday morning. All my shame, a secluded place, and I gave you a reason to dance away. Dance the hell away from me right now. Or you're going to sleep with the fishes, gabagool. Okay, then I got a thing from last week. Jay Blood needed Serge from Beverly Hills Cop to talk with Dr. Poha from Ghostbusters 2. And here we go. I'm going to throw in a little Tony D to tie everything together. Hey, Egghead, come here. I got a question for you. Mr. Tony D, I apologize. Andre Chase is not here. Yeah, I know that. I can see. I got eyes. Then why are you came? Hello, my name is Serge. May I be able to help you with this problem you're having? Get the fuck out of here. No, I cannot because I live here, you understand. That's bad, but it was best I could do.
This was beautiful.
Yeah, it's bad, but
that's beautiful.
Okay. So Graham B says, Alex, your 2021 Vince McMahon is impeccable. What would he sound like singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to Austin Theory as a bedtime lullaby? Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a egg diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are.
I'm main roster talent. Applauding you organically and with authenticity as you arrive in a limo after firing all my friends.
Yeah.
Yay.
That's good. That's good. Okay, now I'm supposed to do this one. I'm supposed to do a classic scene between Walter and Tony D doing a Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Kid, the next time I say let's go someplace like Bolivia. Let's go someplace like Bolivia. Next time, huh? Ready? No. We'll jump. Hey, like hell we will. No, it'll be okay if the water is deep enough and we don't get squished to death. They'll never follow us. Hey, how do you know? Would you make a jump like that if you didn't have to? Hey, I have to. I'm not gonna. But we got to. Otherwise, we're dead. They're going to come. We're going to have to go back down the same way they come. Come on. Just one clear shot. That's all I want. Come on. We got to. No, get away from me. Why? I want to fight them. They'll kill us. Maybe. You want to die? Do you? All right. I'll jump first. No. Then you jump first. No, I said. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you, you motherfucker? I can't swim. All right, that was a thing.
Guys, just for like a behind the scenes for you guys. Not only does Luis moderate, not only does he organize all of our super chats, not only does he provide us with lyrics, but now he has to go to like Empire Online, find movie scenes for Alex to do. It's amazing.
I don't know, man. So okay.
I don't know any of these Beetlejuice songs.
This is not good. I'm gonna have to sing all of them, aren't I? Ryan says either this week or next. So guess what, Ryan? It's next week. I'll do the Muppets Feels Like Christmas lyrics song from Muppets Christmas Carol. I'm gonna do that next week. All right. Here we go. I'm gonna have to sing Deo. Batted to One Jam Beard says, I'd like to make 3 classic song requests. 3 requests. First will be Tony D singing Deo, and the second will be New York Princess singing Jump in the Line, both by Harry Belafonte. The third song is a duet of Tony and Princess singing Eco Eco by the Dixie Cups. What the hell do you take us for, Batted to One Jam Beard? Come on.
I'm not as bad as you, okay? I'm not as cool.
Okay.
Are you friends with Braun Breaker? Do people with double consonants hang out? I have questions.
I don't know, man.
Is that racist against people with double consonants?
I don't know. Okay. This is really hard to. Oh my goodness. Who's this supposed to be? Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Me say daylight come and me wanna go home. There, that's all you get. Because you guys asked for 3 things, and this is not a good. These were not good lyrics. Jump. I want you to sing "Jump in the Line." Okay, here's your thing. You got to watch Beetlejuice this week so you can sing "Jump in the Line" next week.
Okay.
This is crazy. Now we got to sing a duet.
Homework.
We got to sing. Yeah, I have homework. I gotta figure out I gotta watch Muppets Christmas Carol for the first time since I was 12.
That's good homework.
Beetlejuice is good homework.
It is, but you're also a Muppet Spark, and Ryan knows that.
Okay, so now we got to sing Eco Eco. Do you have this in front of you?
What is Eco Eco? What is happening?
I don't know. I've created a monster.
Wait, where is it? I don't see it.
Duet. It says duet.
It says duet.
Do you see it here?
I do. Thank you.
Okay.
I still don't know what the hell it is.
I don't know. Listen, I guess I'm gonna take the first verse.
Guess you are.
I guess. Do you have it here?
I have it, but I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
I'm doing.
My grandma and your grandma were sitting by the fire. My grandma told your grandma, gonna set your flag on fire. Talking about, hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Eco and Deo. Jokomo feed no and day. What the hell is this shit? Full Jokomo feed Nene. Look at my king all dressed in red. Eco and day. I beat a $5. You'll kill you dead. Jokomo feed. Go Jokomo feed yourself. That's Jokomo yourself. That's what I gotta say. Because I don't know what talking about. Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Eco and Deo. I don't know what this is. Okay.
It's apparently from Mission Impossible
thank you for the humper chat. Better than one jam beard, but I'm sorry very much.
You know what we'll do, since I feel like largely this is partly my bust because I didn't know any of those. We'll sing "Happy Birthday to the Coug." Happy birthday to the Coug. Happy birthday to the Coug.
Happy birthday to you and many more.
It looks like in the chat they're making friends, and that makes me very happy.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad everyone can make friends at our expense because I'm sure everyone's making fun of us for not knowing what the hell we're doing. So, Tiki Ashley says, could we have All I Want for Christmas is War Games by William Regal? And then there's a suggestion for the 12 Days of Christmas by Tony D. And instead of a partridge in a pear tree, he wants a championship victory. Listen,
I feel like we might need to save that for next week and do some work on that.
Yeah, we're going to do some work on that. All right.
Oh, I actually do know jump in line if you guys need to do it.
You do it now. Do it.
Shake, senora. Shake your body in line. Shake, senora. Shake it all the time. Work, senora. Work your body line. Work, senora. Work it all the time. That's all you get. And my sister's name is Lydia. That's a shoot. Nailed it.
My grandmother's name was Lydia.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get this thing down because Sean said 159.30 wasn't good enough. So I got to get this back down. Here we go. The Better to One Jam Beard says, I take you guys as the greatest entertainers in all of YouTube land. Ricardo Elito Agrio says, just some love for hashtag Kalex.
Thank you. We like love.
And now, hold on, William Regal. All I want for Christmas is War Games. I'm gonna do more of that, but I'm just gonna give that right there. Here we go. It's good. All right. The Regal rap this week.
Is this the go home?
This is the go home.
Okay, then I'm just gonna say, subscribe to Fightful Select.
Please.
Ask on if there was anything specific, and he said, not that I can say out loud, because it's sexy behind the paywall, you guys.
Yeah.
We don't even know what's going on there, but go to Fightful Select and subscribe. Please leave a thumbs up on this video. It helps people find us in the algorithm. Don't send us any more super chats or humper chats. We're trying to get out of here without getting grounded. William Regal, take it away.
All right. This is Mama Said Knock You Out by Ladies Love Cool James. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my peers, putting suckers in fear. Making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosions overpowering over the competition. I'm towering. Wrecking shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare. You better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition's paying the price. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out because my mother told me that I should knock you out. Don't you call this a regular jam? I'm going to rock this land. I'm going to take this itty-bitty world by storm, and I'm just getting warm. Just like Muhammad Ali, they called him Cassius. Watch me bash this beat like a skull that you know I had beef with. Why do you riff with me? The maniac psycho, and when I pull out my jammy, get ready, because it might go blow. How you like me now? The Ripper will not allow you to get with me, Mr. Smith. Don't riff. Listen to my gear shift. I'm blasting, outlasting. Kind of like Shaft. So you could say I'm shafting. Old English filled my mind, and I came up with a funky rhyme. This funky rhyme is as such. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you out. Mama said knock you out.
I feel like it's my bad that I should have been prepared with a William Regal's mother impression of telling him, knock him out. Something like that. My God. I don't know why it pops so hard for you saying it's sliced and diced.
You gotta put that in there someplace. Hold on, I forgot to end it. As Mex Chewy is prompting me.
Oh,
War Games. Otherwise, it's not actually a rap.
No. Otherwise, it's not really William Regal. Otherwise, it's not really War Games.
Yeah. So you can follow me at Alex Sourgraps on the Twitter. You can follow Kate at Kate on Deck IC. Please, you can go ahead early to, if you can't watch us live on the Fightful Christmas stream next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can go there right now. It's available now to go there, and you can send in a chat there, or you can go to humperchats.com and send in a humper chat there for us. Again, everything that gets donated for that particular stream goes directly into our bank accounts as opposed to, Sean's bank account. But
the man.
Yeah.
Big money Fightful.
Yeah, Jimmy Van and Sean take all the money. Like everything you're donating for me to sing crazy songs and crazy voices, that doesn't go to me. That goes to Fightful, except for on that particular day. It goes to me and it goes to Kate. And
We're
other
out here
people
busking.
too. Other people too. But please, thank you so much. Also our particular show, our post NXT show next week, we'll have a lot of very fun stuff. So please.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It should be good. Love you guys. Keep cool, Gabagool.